All right, I'm back. Oh, I don't even need a filter. Okay, lighting. So I'm gonna give y'all a chance to get back on. Unfortunately, someone interrupted the last live where I was going in with a call. So because they messed up my live with the call, now I gotta start this back over again. Thank you for coming back, love. Okay, so because I discarded the whole video, I'm going to briefly introduce myself again and run through this really quickly and get back into this, okay? So again, my name is Fatima Barnes for those who do not know me, and I am a business strategist. I help stagnant beauty brands transform, charge the prices that they should be charging, so raise your rates, and build a marketing machine that does the heavy lifting for you so that you can build a business that will help you make money in your sleep, okay? And that you don't grow to hate or resent, okay? Because nobody wants to build a business that they hate or resent, okay? And so that is exactly what I help my clients do through the work that I do. And so that is kind of me going back over this and introducing myself for those who have joined back again, and those who are just now joining. Thank you for joining this time. I had some technical difficulties. Somebody tried to call in the middle of my live. And as I explained in the other video, I'm in the car today because I was running errands and went a little over on time, but I still wanted to show up on time for y'all. So I'm doing it in the car today, and it just is what it is, okay? And with this lighting, I don't even need a filter. Okay, perfect. So let me get into what I was talking about. So for many of you guys, we have been told that in order to have a successful business or to be successful in anything that we do in life, that we must put out more output. And what do I mean by that? That means we are told that we are to do more in order to finally yield results, okay? So whatever your business is, hey love, whatever your business is, if you've been told that before, like, I have to work extremely hard and grind for forever, you know what I'm saying? There's obviously a little bit of grind that comes with what we do. But if you've been told that I am supposed to work like a dog in order to get more sales, to get more order, that I put more output out in order to get input, and that is just not the case, okay? So why are we told that? We're told that because that's what people think that you are supposed to do to build a successful brand. That's one reason. Another reason why we're told that is because for a lot of people who are saying that worked 15, 20 years ago, and especially in the beauty industry, it no longer works, okay? It just doesn't work anymore, okay? Because you putting more output does not mean you're going to get more of a return if the output that you're putting out is in the wrong direction. It's doing all of the wrong things. That, yeah, eventually, I mean, even a clock is right twice a day, right? Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Ain't that what they say? It's the same kind of concept. So what does this look like for you as a beauty brand? That looks like I'm going to every single pop-up shop I can possibly go to. That looks like I am at every vendor booth event. I'm a vendor. I'm a booth, right? That looks like me posting so much on social media, promoting all day, promoting in Facebook groups all day, promoting my business, just running myself in the ground constantly. You start to feel like you are a content creator, okay? And then you start to feel like you're wearing so many hats, and then you feel burned out, and then you don't put the effort into your business like you need to. And eventually it leads to people just being like, I can't do this anymore. And this is a reason why people stop, okay? And the reason why is because you're told by people in the industry that these are the things that you should do. You are paying every brand ambassador, wasting money. You're paying for all of these promo pages, and you're just burning yourself out, okay? Like I mentioned in the last live, for those who are just watching, for me, I had to learn this the hard way, because I remember, I'll never forget this. I was going to a show in Dallas, and I drove and I packed up my car yet again to go to yet another pop-up shop type event booth kind of thing, okay? And I remember leaving there feeling like this cannot be it. Okay, like it has to be a better way to grow and run a successful business without me packing my car up every single time I look up to go to yet another pop-up shop. This has to be a better way than me paying another brand ambassador to promote. It has to be a better way to build my business than posting and spending a majority of my time on social media to grow my brand. Okay, so if that sounds like the advice that you have been given, let me know in the chat, even if you're watching the replay, if that is the kind of work that you're doing. If you are feeling like you are working way too hard and not reaping any of the benefits of what you should be reaping in order to grow your business, okay? And that is what I mean by output does not always mean that you will get the input if your output is in the wrong direction, okay? And so what I want to talk to you about today is why you're working too hard and why it could actually be detrimental to your business. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because, again, we all are told to do these things and then we do them and they don't work. And then we keep doing them and then we keep doing them and we realize like they don't work. And eventually we all got a breaking point. Do we not? We all have a up to here moment where we're like, something has got to give. And so the way that works is you either go one or two ways. You either go the direction and say, I'm going to figure out what I need to do to get a solution, or you go the direction where you give up. And a lot of reasons why 90% of beauty brand launches fail within the first year is for that reason. It's because we're told to do all of these things that are leading us nowhere. It's leading us down to a path, right? So would you much rather want to be on vacation, enjoying yourself and knowing that your business is still doing its thing, that you can enjoy your time off and still have income coming in from your business? Or would you rather have to be physically present all the time in order to make money? And I really want you to answer that question, okay? So is your goal to always have to be physically present? Because what happens if you get sick and you can't go to that pop-up shop and your business is dependent upon that? What happens when when life happens? One of the biggest things that I see is that a lot of times when life happens and we are going through our own shit, because we do, what I have noticed is a lot of times our businesses fall on the back burner, right? They fall on the back burner because we can't handle it at that time in our life. So if you've been there, let me know that. So for one of my clients, when she came to start working with me, one of her biggest things was, I need my time back. I need freedom. I'm neglecting my child. I'm neglecting everything else in my life, trying to put it into this business, and I just feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And so after time she implemented the steps that I teach in my main program, Beauty Boss Accelerator 2.0, we actually dived in and went into her business. And of course, I'm teaching you guys how to set this up and build out this machine so that you can go on vacation and you can expect your business to still be selling for you all the time. And when she went on her first vacation, she literally called me and was like, I just want to thank you because I have not been able to go on vacation in 3 years because I have been so busy invested into my business, doing all of the wrong things, that I have not been able to take my daughter on vacation and really give her that time. And so I want you to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is what you want worth you never being able to have that time with your kid like you need to? Or if you don't have a kid, is it worth you never being able to have that freedom and always being tied to your business? If you continue doing the things that you're doing now, is it worth it in the long run? Can you see yourself doing that forever? Okay? As much as you might love and be passionate about the products that you sell, there comes a point where burnout no longer, we're not able to sustain if we're burned out. Okay? So let me know if I'm making sense so we can kind of talk about the things that you will need to start doing and shifting your mindset to make sure that you understand that working hard does not equal greater results. And I know that's what people tell you. It's about working smarter, okay? Because you want to be, one of my biggest moments when I had my business, even though it was towards the end, but I had gotten the right solutions, was I went to Dubai with my friends and I didn't worry about my business. And I remember being on the boat, getting a notification that I still had Shopify orders coming in. And that for me is the goal. So if that is the goal for you, is to finally be in a place where you can enjoy yourself and have more freedom and not be so tied down. Because let's just be real, being on social media all day, every day, trying to post and promote your brand can be exhausting and draining. And the longer that you're on there, then you see this other brand, you see this other brand, you see this other brand, you start to compare your brand, you start to do what you feel like you're supposed to do because of that brand. And before you know it, now you are in a position where you are questioning everything that you do. Okay? And we don't want that. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. I'm sure you don't want that for you. Okay? So let's get into what you actually need to shift your focus on. Okay? So there is a couple of key elements that you need to shift your focus on. And that is having a system and process and automating it. Okay? Really, let me just give you the 3 keys to not working too hard in your business, okay? Let me just give you that. The first key is you need to be very, very, very clear as to who you're serving and how you serve them, okay? But it cannot be surface level, okay? Just think about it this way. If you are going to the doctor and you need to have heart surgery, and there is a heart surgeon right here, and then there is a podiatrist, which one are you going to choose? Okay, they're both doctors, right? But if I'm having heart surgery, I want to go to the one who specializes in hearts. So what your goal is to make sure that you become a specialist with your products so that you don't blend in like everybody else. That takes off about half of the work right there, because you're no longer rushing against the grain trying to compete with everybody else who sells the same products. You're automatically knocking off some of the work right there by just simply narrowing down and being very clear and specific as to who you serve and how you serve them. Okay. And I want you to not think about it again in a way of very surface level, like I help women over 25. I want you to think about what problem does your product solve, okay? And who does it solve it for the most, okay? So start there, because that does half of the work. When you're a specialist, you take off half of the working too hard right there, because then people are naturally going to be drawn to you because you are speaking to what they need in that moment. If I'm making sense, let me know, okay? Drop it in the chat. All right, put a 1 in the chat and let me know. Now, the second element to that you want to think about is, now let's first talk about, let me go back to this first element, becoming a specialist and all of that. That's great. But what I have found is that most people are afraid to narrow it down and be very, very specific, because they fear that if I do that, I am going to miss out on money and opportunities. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. So that's why a lot of people don't narrow down their audience, because they feel like I'm going to miss out on being able to help this person, and this person if I narrow down my audience. And that couldn't be further from the truth, okay? It actually, thank you, love. It actually opens you up to more opportunities, again, because I explained you're more attracted to that person who can help you with your specific needs. Okay, so that's the first element. So don't be, I get it that it's scary to really be clear and narrow it down very, very specifically, but understand that is super, super important. Okay, so then the second piece is you need to have a system and process for how your business is going to run. Okay. And so many people don't realize that what I mean by having a system and process is really thinking about what is the experience that I want my potential clients to go through. Okay. And so it doesn't have to be this super complicated thing. It really can just be what is the journey that I want someone to go through when they decide to work with me. What to purchase from me, okay? What do I want that process to look like? You need to be very, very clear in that. If you're not very, very clear in that, you're going to find that you're going to struggle with converting people into wanting to buy from you. And basically just turning those people who are your fans or followers on whatever social site that you're on, turning them into a buyer. A part of that is you got to have a process and you have to have a system. What do I want to happen based off this particular output? Okay. And it doesn't have to be complicated. As we're talking about, you're working way too hard because you're overthinking the process, and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be that hard. Okay. So one of my clients who she started working with me, one of her biggest things was she was just saying, I'm all over the place. I don't know what to I don't know what to do when this happens. I don't know what to do when that happens. I don't know what to do. And so she actually put more work on herself by trying to figure out, what do I do in this moment when this arises? And now she's spending more time trying to figure out, well, what do I do when this happens? Do I do this? Do I do that? Right? And before you know it, she was just wasting more time trying to solve issues or figure things out and wing it along the way, which means you're going around and you're working way too hard. So what we ended up doing was, once we started implementing the processes that I teach in my program, and we really dug deep into what she has going on, we were able to help her come up with a simple way that she can literally, a customer could actually see her and decide to purchase from her. And we made that easy. Okay. So you want to make it easy for them to purchase. And if it's way too hard for you to figure out when things happen, what to do, it's probably way too hard for your customers. And therefore now you're seeing an issue with that. Okay. So the second thing is, you need to actually think about, again, what is your processes? What is the processes, the steps in the journey that I would like a customer to go through? And think about that ahead. Okay. The whole point of thinking about it in advance is so that you're not wasting time trying to figure these things out. And then it brings me to the last point of that is, then you automate it. Okay. So let's review. If you're still with me, hit a 1 in the chat and let me know. But let's review. The first piece of that is, be very, very clear in who you are serving and how you're serving them and the problem you solve. Okay. And we talked about why that is important. There is a fear surrounding doing that feels that you are going to knock yourself out of the running. Thank you for letting me know, love, if you narrow down your audience. But really, it brings you more opportunities and more people to want to come to you because they see you as the clear winner, the hero, and they see you as a specialist for what they need, the problem they have and they need to be solved. Okay. That knocks out a lot of the work that you're doing because you're working so hard to try to compete with other people doing the same exact thing or that you are. And now you're working so hard to try to differentiate yourself. Okay. So that's number one. The second thing is, you're working too hard because you have not thought through in advance what is the steps, the processes, and the things that I want my clients to go through as they decide they're going to buy from me. And then thinking about that in advance and determining what does that look like. And so many people think that this is an extremely complicated thing to think about, so they don't do it. Or you might not think that it's important because you might feel like, well, I'm not there yet. But it's actually super, super important and critical for you to do it, even if you are not there yet, so that you're thinking ahead and making it easier for yourself and for your potential customers, because you can be very, very clear in how you are going to deliver their goods from start to finish. Okay. So the last thing that we want to do is then automate that. And what do I mean by automating? Basically, like I said, we want to make it to where you will then make money in your sleep. Okay. Where you have something working for you in the background. Something working for you, like we talked about earlier, the example of when I was on the boat in Dubai and my Shopify notifications were still going off and I was still selling. Okay. That is what I mean by automate. Automating that process that we talked about in step 2 is actually how I was able to achieve that. Okay. And so most people are scared when they hear the word automation. What do you mean automation? I have a website. I have these different things. What do you mean automate that? So a part of automating that is not just automating one piece of your business, which is what most people do. They feel like, well, I have a website. That website is there 24/7. So that's automation. And that is actually not what automation is. Again, it doesn't have to be this overcomplicated thing. That's actually one of the things that I work with my clients on, is we automate their processes that we did in step 2. And so a part of how we do that is we set it up to where, again, when they are asleep, their business is still running 24/7. Because think about it. How many people you know, or how many times you've been up shopping at 3 a.m. to buy something? I have. If that's been you, if you've been up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. shopping, that's how important automation is, because there's actually more people probably up shopping in the late hours, in the wee hours of the morning, than you think. Okay. And so this is why automating is so important. So a lot of people will scare you out of automation and say, well, you don't need to do that, right? You can keep going to all the pop-up shops. You can keep, posting like crazy every day on social media and spending all of your time doing that. You can keep attending every single pop-up shop. You can keep trying to compete with everybody else in your space and work way too hard. And they make you fear automating your business. Okay. All you're doing when you begin automating your business is you take what we talked about in step 2, all of those steps and procedures and processes, and you automate that as best you can. This is how you're able to achieve going on vacation and still getting Shopify notifications. Okay. This is through the power of automation. Okay, this is how you run your business like a well-oiled machine. And this is exactly what I help my clients do. We build out a marketing machine, because automating, just having a website, is not automation. And that's what you've been told. I have a website. I send emails that automatically notify my potential customers when they're going to get their order. That's automation. That's actually very surface level to automation. And so you want to think about automating all of the processes. Because what happens again if you're sick? What happens again if you're on vacation? And a lot of people are stuck to their business and can't take vacations because they have no automation other than their website. If they're not posting on social media and trying their best to post 30 million times a day, then their business is not working for them. And we don't want that, right? Let me know in the chat if you don't want that. If you want to be able to step away and still bring in income for your business, okay? Because automating that is how you do it. It's very, very simple. And it seems scary, but it's not. It is a big part of you relinquishing that control over feeling like I have to work extra hard and grind way too hard in order to get results. Because now my clients find that they spend less time on social media. I believe on average, they spend less than 2 hours a day on social media marketing their business, and their income is still growing. And their income hasn't stopped. So for less than 2 hours a day on social media, if that, my clients are still bringing in income. One of my clients, she has her machine built out so well that this girl only has about 100 and something followers on Instagram. Okay. And good. I'm glad you're working on that. So she has about 100 and something followers on Instagram. And this girl sells out so much that she is having to make big orders, larger orders to place it, because her system is working too well that we had to stop it to give her time to re-up even more inventory, because every single time she gets new inventory, she orders more, boom, she's sold out again before she knows it. And she doesn't post every day on social media. She doesn't post every day on social media. She doesn't go to she hasn't even done a pop-up shop yet. She hasn't even done a vendor booth yet. And she sells that much by working less. She spends about, on average, her time has decreased by 60% of working in her business, because now she knows exactly what she needs to do and when. And we've built out a system that does that. Exactly. That's where you want to be. That is the goal. Okay. So it's so important to do that and to think about these things now, where you're at now. You don't have to wait. I know they tell you you need to wait until you automate and automate until you are at a certain threshold, but that actually hinders you. That thinking, that thought process actually hinders your growth because it's keeping you stagnant and in this cycle of doing all of the wrong things trying to get results. Okay. And so those are the three key things. When you have a system that is automated for you, when you're very, very clear of your positioning and where you are, and you become a specialist, you become the hero, you become the clear winner in your market, you have taken off so much work from you because you have been able to, one, establish why you're unique. Two, you've thought through every single thing that could happen and you are prepared for that. So you're not working too hard trying to figure out these processes. And then three, you automate those processes. You automate everything. Okay, not just having a website and not just having the email send their people their shipping notifications and cart abandonment, because that's where most people stop when they think of automating their business. And it's so much more than that. And that's why I help my clients build out those machines, because your whole business needs to run like a well-oiled machine so that you can, again, take vacation, go have a date night with your husband without stressing about your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be able to not say, I got to pick up and pack my car for every single pop-up shop that comes along, because if I'm not at a pop-up shop, then I can't get any sales. That's not what we want. You want to automate your marketing as well, not just your website, not just your email notifications. You want to automate. Okay. Does it make more sense if you, let's put it this way. Does it make more sense to know that if you worked at an assembly line, for an example, okay, and if you knew that assembly line was going to run and do its thing all the time, you didn't have to worry about it. You check on it from time to time. You do what you got to do. You know, there's always still a human element to even an assembly line, right? But that person isn't sitting there trying to make every single one of those products. There's a system that's flowing. Every now and then when the system goes wrong, guess what happens? You now know how to diagnose what's going wrong. And that's why it's also super important to automate your business and have these systems and processes, because then you can clearly identify, this is where the problem is coming from. I can now fix that. So you want to automate your marketing and your messaging as well. You want to have people knowing and selling. You want to be selling 24/7 without you physically selling 24/7. You want someone to see you at 3:00 in the morning and decide to make it's ridiculous. Let me see something. Okay. Now, I did what I did before, I think. And let me know. Prayerfully so. Fingers crossed. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, perfect. So I think I lost my train of thought, but I think I was getting at, okay, the reason why it's so important to understand this, and thank you, love, for letting me know, is to understand this is because we want for you to make sure you can diagnose your problems. So me helping my clients build out this machine and me helping them know that their business is going to run and sell for them 24/7 also helps them with diagnosing their business, okay? So if something goes wrong, you can pinpoint, just like a car. A car is just a big machine, okay? This is the same way you got to think about it in your business. A car is just a machine. And that car has systems and processes and steps that's being made and things that are being taken and all of these different things, right? At a certain time. So as soon as I do one thing, the next this happens. If I hit the brakes, the car stops. It is a system. This can't go without this. This can't run without this. So when something goes wrong with my car, guess what I am then able to do? I am able to get my car, I'm able to diagnose, not me, but a professional, because, you know. But the whole point is, a car can then be taken and diagnosed to say, this is what's wrong, because this isn't working. And that's how you want your business to be, because if you don't have it that way, you're working too hard trying to figure out what the problem is. Because you don't know what you don't know, because you don't have a system, you don't have a process, it's not automated, you can't pinpoint, where am I going wrong, where am I losing people? Okay, let me know if that's making sense, because that's exactly how your business has to be. I'm losing people somewhere. Let me figure out in my machine where this is happening and why this is happening and where am I going wrong. Okay, and that is exactly how your business has to be. If it's a machine, you can diagnose it a lot quicker. So building it, and it doesn't have to be this overly complicated thing, but it is important that you automate it. Okay, so that is the 3 key things that will help you stop from working too hard. And let's do a quick recap, and then I'm going to close this out. Okay. So if you're working too hard, this looks like going to every single pop-up shop. And if you're not doing these things, you're not selling. And that's what I want. The key is for you to be able to step away and still make money in your sleep. Okay. And so we talked about the first thing is being very, very, very specific and super clear as to making you a unique, clear winner, hero in your market. That takes away about half of the work right there. Because when you don't have to compete that much or that hard, now you are making yourself, you're positioning yourself to have to work less because you become a specialist. Okay. The second piece to that is understanding the processes and the steps that you want people to take as they experience with your business, and thinking about that in advance so that you are prepared for it and that you have a process, you have a system in place to make sure that you know what happens and when. Okay. The third piece is automating all of that out and making sure that not just automate your website and have a few cart abandonment emails and say it's automation. Automating everything as much as you possibly can so that, much like the assembly line, if something goes wrong, there is that human interaction to stop and say, let's check what's going on. But even with the car, you can diagnose what happens, what could happen with your car, and you are able to then pinpoint exactly where the problem is coming from to then fix it and adjust. Okay. And so that's just one reason why you want to automate. But the other reason why you want to automate is because you don't want to build a business that you resent, that you're so super tied down on, that you can't spend time with your family and friends. You feel like all I'm doing is going to working my 9 to 5, coming back, working from 5 to damn near time to go to work in the morning. Okay. Ain't nobody got time for that. There's a level of that when you first start a business as you're building, but listen, you cannot sustain that long term. It just is not sustainable long term. If your goal is to be a big brand, okay, if your goal is to be in Target and all of these different places, you have to start thinking like that now. You have to start taking those steps. So they tell you don't worry about that stuff until you get there, but they're actually doing you a big disservice when they tell you that, because now you're not even ready to receive what comes with that. Okay. You're not even ready for it because you're not prepared for it. You can still make those steps now so that you're ready for what comes when you do actually try to move forward. Okay. So that was my spiel. So one of the things that I will say is if this resonated with you, or if you are a beauty brand or someone who, even if you're catching a replay, let me know who you would like to know what that's like to have a marketing machine. Maybe you're tired of constantly spending so much time and putting so much output but not getting a lot back in return. Like, you want to make sure that you're working smarter and not working too hard, doing all of these things that they tell you to do that's leading you to exhaustion and burnout, because burnout will lead to you closing your business down quicker than anything else. I told you guys in the first live about my client who allowed herself to get burned out, that she just completely did not implement any of the techniques at all and just gave up on her business. Okay, that is why I feel like a lot of businesses fail within the first few years, because they aren't aware of this concept. And it's really not your fault, because that's what everybody's telling us to do until you learn the hard way. Okay, and that's not what we want. We want you to go on vacation, sis. Go on vacation and know that your business is okay. Okay, you ain't got to work that hard. You can work smarter. Yes, you're going to work hard to set it up, but you can work smarter. Okay, so if you are someone who you want to know a little bit more about that, you have a couple of options. Okay, I do have a free training at the link in my bio. It's a free mini series training. It's like short videos that you can check out that goes a little bit more in depth about this and how I actually help my clients do it a little bit more specifically and what that looks like for you. Or you can go ahead and schedule a discovery call with me if you are just tired of just working way too hard and not getting a lot in return. Go ahead and click that link and book a discovery call with me. I think I still have a few March spots left. Book a discovery call with me and let's chat. Let's talk about what it looks like for me to help you do those different things and what that looks like in that capacity, because while I do have limited spots in my program, my goal is to help as many people as I can step away and not build a business in burnout. Okay, because I know how that feels. Okay, so click that link in my bio. Again, click that link in my bio. You got two options. You can either watch the free training or you can book a discovery call. If you want to watch the training, there's still an opportunity for you to book a discovery call with me. If you feel like I just need to learn a little bit more about you first, by all means, but click that link, because you do not want to miss that opportunity, because I am getting ready to close enrollment shortly, because I do keep it to a limit with the amount of people that I help build these machines out. As you can see, it's very complex. It's not very complex in the sense of like it's impossible, but it does take a lot. So I do limit how many people that I enroll and can help with this more closely. So if you are someone who you don't want to keep working too hard, as we're about to go into Q2, we're about to go into quarter 2. We ain't got time to still be doing the same things we were doing in quarter 1. Quarter 2 should be about flow in your business now and working towards that. So schedule your discovery call and let's talk, let's chat, let's see if we would be a great fit, if I can even help you, if we would match. And let's get on the calendar and let's talk, okay? Because I would love to help you set this up so that you can have your life back and your freedom, okay? So I will see y'all next week. Sorry, I was in the car this time, but it's okay. I will see y'all next week live and we will chat more about this. Y'all have a good one.